Hi, welcome to What's the Book About? I'm your host Kevin. This is They Also Serve by Mike Moscoe. This is the story of the exploration starship Second Chance and its maiden voyage of disaster and discovery. Now this story takes place shortly after the end of the first book and the end of the Civil War, and we are following our explorers as they take their maiden voyage out into the deep black to explore what's out there. That's when things go horribly wrong because the ship they're on has been sabotaged and the crew is lost somewhere out in the deep dark space. But fortunately not for long, because they actually end up stumbling upon a lost colony ship. And the remnants of the colony ship have set up a small nation on a particular planet, and Ray Longknife leads a landing party down there to make friendly contact so that they can supply food and water to the ship as the crew that chooses to remain on board can go out searching for a way back home. Now, Ray Longknife actually does make friendly contact with the locals, and everything runs smoothly for about 5 minutes. Okay, so that's the spoiler-free introduction. Be warned, from here on out there may be a few spoilers. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. So on this lost colony, it is very mineral poor, and the world is controlled by the Sterling family and led by Stacy Sterling, the greediest woman on the planet, bar none. Now she plans to use the Starfolk, as they're called, in order to tighten her grip on power and make even more money. Her plans actually end up only fermenting a rebellion against herself, and all this petty small little politics compared to the fact that there's actually a world-spanning alien computer inhabiting this world, and it has just woken up to the fact that there are humans on it. Now, the artificial intelligence is represented by, well, teachers and professors, because this isn't just any kind of computer system. It's actually a planet-sized university and teaching center. And there's all these wonderful little humans going around uneducated. And things go horribly wrong because it ends up sparking a civil war between the AIs and the humans in the middle of the Sterling Civil War. And all this can only end with Ray Longknife and a bunch of little kids fighting a war against a planet-sized supercomputer in virtual reality. Okay, so what's good and bad about this book? First off, Stacy Sterling is a wonderful villain. She's petty and vindictive, greedy, and so very short-sighted. She's actually almost comic relief in her villainy. But she all comes from a particular point of view where she can't comprehend or deal with someone outside her sphere of influence. It doesn't exist. She can only ever be the most important person ever. And while Ray Longknife and his soldiers and the people with him have gone through civil wars and are much more experienced than she could ever be, so while she thinks she's this mighty power, she's been a big fish in a small pond for so long that when the whale that is Ray Longknife comes in and meets her, her attempts to control him are more laughable than frightening. And this could have been a horrible way to go, except because we're now we'll get introduced to the AIs and how they control the planet, how powerful they are, how scary they are. Well, Stacy doesn't believe all this because she's been living on this planet, and her aunt's been living on this planet for centuries, and they've never found this. It's only because of certain actions, which I don't want to talk about without spoiling things, that things get awoken. So, while Ray Longknife has to deal with this major issue, she's just a petty concern. And it's not a petty concern for the rest of the natives. And the power and control that the AIs exert is awe-inspiring and very frightening. But the thing is, the AI has been asleep for a millennium and gone sort of broken and separated into where it used to be one singular identity is now multiples. So it actually gives the AI enemy multiple reasons and choices for what it does and gives it more personality. And that is sadly one of the downsides, because by the end of the book, we know that we're never ever going to see these particular AI characters ever again. And you get really hooked into the various different AI factions and the personalities that have come up in the author has come up with. And the other downside is the alien AI does not feel very alien. Aside from its immense power, it feels very, very human. And the thing is, this AI was built by creatures who've been gone for so long that we have never found evidence of them. And it's an intriguing mystery that does get a resolution, and I cannot spoil it, but it is a really good resolution. So in the end, what is the book about? Pride kills. You see, every leader in every faction on both the human and AI side all believe that they know absolutely everything about everything, and they are the voice of authority and reason on whatever subject they're talking about, except for Ray Longknife. He's known that while he is the top of his game, he knows that he doesn't know everything, and that there will always be stuff that is still yet to be discovered. He's the only one that survives because of this particular knowledge, the willingness to go and ask for help. Everyone else is too focused on their pride and too caught up in their own pride to ask for help, and it ends up destroying whatever they're trying to build or create. And even the minor characters, they don't learn to swallow their pride, they end up dying for it. And this whole story is wrapped up in this great characterization moments, really good quality story writing, great multiple factions with reasoned arguments, their own motives. It gives it such depth, and the power that the AI utilizes is frightening if you stop and think about it for very long, even when you don't. And the great revelation at the end that answers quite a lot of the intriguing questions is so well handled. That's why I have to give this particular book 4 out of 4 stars. Now, it's published by Ace under Mike Moscoe's pen name, but it's also being re-released under his real name of Mike Shepard as an ebook and that. So there's no reason you can't go out and read this and enjoy. Till next time, have a good one.